It is Coach T here for our live in the hot seat. Ask me anything you want, ask me any questions, and I will answer them right here on camera. But I do have some ladies that have already sent in some questions, so we won't be just sitting here with waiting for questions. We already have some that we're going to answer. Hey, Pearl, how are you? Good to see you.
Hey, oh, I missed it last week.
Well, last week we had technical difficulties, so you're good.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah. So we have
Okay.
so this is really technically our first session, although it
Okay.
says session
Yeah, and
2.
I just got off of another.
Mhm.
I was asked to be on a TV show. What? I mean, everything. I'm like, you must be talking to somebody else. But this was just like, I guess,
Mhm.
try to find out how everything goes and stuff. But I'm like, oh Lord, I don't know about that.
Exactly.
Uh,
I understand. I understand.
yeah. So, hey,
Well,
Terry.
hey Terry. So I have some questions, and that's where we're going to get started. And maybe what I'll do is that I'll answer one of the questions. I'll come with one of the questions that was asked, and then see if someone that's on a live stream actually has a question to ask in between before I go to, because I'm going to do three tonight, because two and three are a little bit more detailed. So I'm gonna give it like another minute and let some other people get on before we actually get started. And remember, guys, we're gonna have this for another 2 Thursdays. So if you think of anything like after we get off the call, you think of something next week or whatever, we have another 2 Thursdays. We're just gonna carry this through for every Thursday in July. So anything that and it
I
might
just
be
know.
something that affects somebody else, might not be you, but you might want to know, or something that you heard or something that you read that you might need clarification on or something like that.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I am definitely going to send out this replay because there are a lot of ladies. That's why we're doing it on Zoom. There are a lot of ladies that gave questions, and they're like working at Bible study, so different things going on, life and so that's why I'm actually doing it here, and that way I can actually send them the replay. So the first question that I'm going to put out there, and this was a question from one of the ladies. So her question is, have you heard anything about the pros and cons of using, it's called Celtic sea salt? So it looks like Celtic, but it's really pronounced Celtic. So what are the pros and cons of Celtic sea salt? So let me say this. First of all, let me just say that maintaining proper levels of sodium in the body is important for all cell function and growth. So that's number one. I just want to put out there. Um, what you want to do is that you want to, like this client asked this question, you want to investigate, because there's so many different types of salt on the market. You have pink salt, you have Himalayan salt, and now you have Celtic sea salt. So Celtic salt, I had to do a little research on it. It's also known as gray salt, and it's made from the evaporation of the water in the ocean or any type of saltwater lakes. So they dried, when those are dried out, that's where they pull the salt from the salt bed of those types of water streams. Um, it has a different texture and a different taste than table salt. Well, everything is going to be different from table salt, because remember, table salt has been processed, it's gone through a whole lot of stuff to get to the table. Usually, when you're pulling stuff from the earth, more natural, it's definitely always going to have a different taste. You'll notice that, like if you grow tomatoes in your yard, they taste different than the tomatoes that you get from the store. So always expect something to have a different texture and a slightly different taste when you're pulling more from the origination of it. Okay. It has different The minerals it contains, it depends on, now this was very interesting. So, the minerals it contains depends on which water source it came from. So that is really, really interesting. So just because someone says that they're using Celtic salt, it depends on what body of water that salt came from, to let you know what type of minerals are going to be in that. But I did do some research, so I got your pros and cons for you. So that was very interesting, because you think minerals, you think in sea salt, or you think in Celtic salt, it should be the same across the board, but evidently it's not. It depends on the body of water that it came from. So the pros of using Celtic sea salt, the benefits is with limited evidence, and it hasn't been proven. Celtic salt is largely antidotal. Antidotal. I can never say that word. It means that it can help you to heal. It's saying that it can help you to heal properties. It heals damaged skin when it's used as an exfoliant of scrub. Like we use sugar scrubs, we use salt scrubs on your lips, on your face, on your body. It can be used for that. It also claims to promote cell growth, and this is probably by the product or the sodium content overall. So, when you do a lot of stuff to promote cell growth, it comes from a lot of different factors. If you use it the way that they're telling you to use it, not saying that it doesn't work, but it probably does work to help you with cell growth. A lot of people, and this is interesting, and so I know why this lady asked this question. It claims to support thyroid health. I'm not talking tonight. I need to tell this one to my cousin because she suffers with thyroid. This is thought to help because it has a high iodine content, which improves thyroid health. So that's probably why people are going into this direction of using Celtic salt, especially if you're suffering with thyroids, because of the high iodine level, and iodine is good to control that thyroid. It also claims to support joint pain, which is awesome, for us that are getting a little older. Those joint pains seem like they come every day. Joint pain, leg cramps. This has been proven also with Epsom salt due to the high magnesium content. So, if you're suffering with joint pain, get that salt, whether it's Celtic salt or Epsom salt, and, relax your body in that to just help calm it down, with that inflammation and things going on. If we can go as natural as possible and try to stay away from, these medications that have side effects that are causing other stuff on this side, I'm always a fan of trying to go as natural as possible, especially if it's been proven to work. And the last pro on it, it claims to support mucus reduction. I need that. But no research has been done to prove it reduces the swelling in the nose and sinuses. It just thins the mucus, which reduces the mucus accumulation. So that's what it's, hey, Bev. So that's what it's also claiming to do. I should try it for that reason alone, because do y'all know how much I spend in sinus medicine every week, washing out my sinuses and everything like that. So if I can definitely get some Celtic sea salt to help me to thin the mucus, maybe it won't be backed up and I won't be so congested for so long. So I might have to look into that now, because everything has a con, because it has a pro. So the cons of Celtic sea salt, which are not a lot, there are way more benefits than there are cons. The only con that I could find is that too much salt, and this is across the board, no matter what kind, can have a negative effect on your health, like high blood pressure. We already know that. You put too much salt in your food, which leads to stroke, which leads to heart disease, which leads to calcium loss. And people with kidney disease should be especially careful about their sea salts and their table salt intake. So if you're suffering with any kind of kidney issue, you definitely want to watch your overall salt, not just the Celtic sea salt, but just salt overall. So that answers that first question on Celtic sea salt. So that's okay if you don't remember anything that I said on that question. Like I said, I'm going to send this out and you can go back and listen to it, especially if that was your question, because you might want to go back and listen to it some more. All right. So the second question that we have, somebody said, how much protein should I consume? That is a good one. And I think I've had this one before. That this one is a lot. Okay, so when you eat sufficient amounts of protein, it helps you to build more muscle. It helps you when you're trying to minimize the fat accumulation on your body. You want more protein because you want more muscle. That is definitely the way to go, especially if you're on a weight loss diet. You definitely want to go for higher protein. But to actually give you how much protein you should consume, it depends. So these are the factors that it depends on. So if you are in the market to lose weight, because not everybody wants to lose weight, some people need to gain weight. And so you have different amounts of protein that you're going to be consuming. To lose weight, you want to aim for 1.6 to 2.2 grams of protein per body weight, okay? Or 1 gram per pound. Let's just put it there. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you're going to have like 15 grams. I think that's what I wrote down. I did a little calculation. I have to go down here and get it again. But I also have I'm going to put it in here too. I found the protein calculator. See, Coach T goes the extra mile. I'm going to put the protein calculator when I send you guys this replay in your email. I'm going to put the protein calculator on there. And that way you can put your protein amount in there and it'll calculate how much protein you should be consuming per day. Now, the thing about it is that because you're going to be consuming protein, if you're at 150 pounds, I would suggest eating the amount of protein for 140 pounds, especially if you're trying to lose weight. So don't go all the way up there with your protein for a 150-pound person. Go for the protein with the 140-pound person since you're trying to aim to get to 140 pounds. Understand what I'm saying? So go for your goal weight. That's my suggestion. Go for your goal weight in your protein consumption. Okay, so I'm going to give you the actual scale. So if you're trying to lose weight, of course, we know you still have to consume fewer calories than you burn. And, but all of your macronutrients, and if you know what macros are your carbs, your fat, and your protein. You want to make sure that you're eating more protein than you are eating fat and then you're eating carbs. So definitely get on that protein kick if that's something that you can do, because sometimes people have illnesses that don't allow them to consume a lot of protein. So you need to know where you are on that spectrum. If it's fine for you to consume a lot of protein, then you can use this protein calculator if you're on that journey to actually consume more protein. Because guess what? Protein is going to help you to feel full longer, okay? Instead of getting those carbs and having that crash later on in the day, you're going to feel full longer if you take in protein. And we always want to get in more protein because we want to feel full longer, stops us from overeating. And also, if you're doing any type of strength training exercise, you definitely need the protein to help you with your muscles, okay? So that's that question answered on protein. And I have to remember to tell myself to add in the protein calendar. Also, a little note that I put down here is that if you carry a BMI, a body mass index of over 30, which most of us do, because that's calendar, that BMI scale needs to be redone because it's so antiquated. And I know I heard the government talking about they were going to do another BMI calculator because it is a little out of date, especially if you carry a lot of muscle already on your body. It's going to have you overweight off the bat. And some people are just naturally more muscular than others. You've seen small children like my granddaughter. She's not even 2 years old, and she has very defined arms and very defined legs already. So sometimes people have genetics in their system, in their body, where they're more muscle tone is already there. So yeah, they definitely need to do that BMI calculator. So I would definitely recommend, that you get your protein done and check on that calendar. All right. So anybody want to ask a question before I move on to the last question that we have on here? Anything's coming to your mind or anything you want me to go back and answer on these two questions that we've gotten already concerning the Celtic sea salt, or either consuming how much protein you need to consume on a daily basis? Everybody's good? All right. So we're going to move on to that last question. All right. So the last question that we have is, what is the best advice you can give me to start my weight loss plan? You don't want me to give you that one. You don't want me to give you that one. The best advice that I could give you when starting a weight loss plan is to have a plan. I'm not going to say go straight to nutrition. I'm not going to say go straight to exercise. The best thing that I can give you, because this is something that I practice myself, this is something that I do for myself, have a plan already in your head. It starts up here. It starts in your mindset. You have to know what you're up for. You have to know what your goal is. You have to know if you have the time, if you have the willpower, if you have the accountability to actually pull it off. You have to think about all that, because I have a lot of people come to me and say, "Oh, Coach T, I need you as a trainer." And then I get on a call, I find out everything that they want to do, and when I'm listening to it, it's like, okay, that's a lot. It's a little over the top. Because sometimes our aspirations are really bigger than our actual real life situation that we can pull off. People have to realize where they are in their lives, if they have the time to devote to working out every day, if they have the time to devote to actually going grocery shopping. Because a lot of us that are empty nesters, we don't grocery shop. We might pick up a few things, cook some. I see Terry shaking her head, pick up a few things here and there, and we good because there's nobody to cook for. But if you definitely want to go on that journey of losing weight, you're going to have to come to the realization that you have to go to the store. You have to go your behind to the store. You have to prepare food at home, because you can't lose weight and still live the way you live, going out for Taco Tuesday, and Seafood Friday. That's not sustainable, and that's not going to work. So, that's kind of like what gets me when people say, "I want to hire you as a trainer." And then when I propose things like that, or they have a real stressful job, or they're working 10 and 12-hour days, they don't have a set schedule right now, that gets in the way. If you don't have a nice set 8 to 5, you walk in at 8 and you walk out at 5, all of that can derail your health plans. If you are in the sandwich generation, you have parents that you're checking on or seeing about, you have kids that are in high school that still need you to be there to go to meetings, to do this, to do that. You're in that sandwich generation, that can derail your plans. So, that's my job when I get someone on the phone and they tell me their plans, and then I give them real life situations, because it makes sense to be honest up front, instead of actually taking somebody's money and then they're ghosting you because they're so busy. Like the old people say, all money ain't good money. Because sometimes it's not that people don't want to do better, or people that's not their intent, but life be lifing. Life gets in the way. So that's my job, to point those things out to you. Before you start a weight loss plan, you need to realize where you are in your personal life first, where you are in your work life, where you are in your relationships with your family, where you are as far as, you might not be ready to give up Taco Tuesday. You might not be ready, you might be, doing what you're doing, and you just going through some stuff right now. You're just not ready, and that's okay. That's fine. That's how it is. Whenever you're ready, then you come back. But just a word to the wise for everybody before you actually start that weight loss journey. Think about it up here and lay it out. Lay it out, write it down. You know, can I eat? Can I stay on this? And it doesn't have to be all the time. Everything is not strict. You don't have to work out 6 days a week. You don't have to eat clean all day, every day for 7 days a week. But you have to give at least 80%. And if you don't even have the 80% to give, let it go. Come back at another time when you're ready to commit to the process. Because that, you know, like I said, that's what I do for myself, for my own life. Now that I'm trying to stay out of the gym and stop doing those weights so much, trying to go for, you know, more streamlined look. I've already committed to every day. I already know what's in the house, what I'm going to eat. And I'm always at the store because I have to have the fresh foods, and I have to have stuff in the house like fruit. Like I've watermeloned myself out today, watermelon and cantaloupe. But I have to stay away from everything else because I know what I'm shooting for. So it's stuff like that. You have to have your snacks in the house. You already have to have, I already know when I get up in the morning what I'm eating for breakfast. I already know what I'm eating for lunch. I already know what I'm eating for dinner. So that was the last question. What's the best advice you can give me? So that's my best advice to give you for to start a weight loss plan, is to think it through all the way up here. Think it through in your head first before you actually make that commitment to spend money to get a gym, to spend money to get a trainer, to join a class that you know you're not going to go to. So I would suggest that for anything where you're making a shift in your life to get healthier, think about the commitment level, because if that class is at 6 o'clock in the morning and you're not a morning person, do you think you're going to make that class? No, you're not. So don't fool yourself. All right. All right, ladies. Does anyone else have any questions? I wish I would have wrote down the rest of the questions. I thought I was just going to have enough for the 3. I'm sorry.
I have a comment.
Yes.
You mentioned something about your sinuses.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a sinus and allergy facial today. I had never heard of that.
Wow.
And I tell you, it opened my sinuses up. What you're talking about? Yeah, I went to a massage therapist. And allergy and sinus facial.
Allergy and sinus facial.
It was amazing. I'm like, and I asked her how often should I get that done, and she was saying, starting out, for the first couple of months, maybe every 2 weeks.
Okay.
And so I went ahead and booked my next appointment. So I'm like, I'm liking this. And
all right.
It was real interesting, and because I'm like you, I'm trying to take care of some things without medication.
Exactly. Okay, allergy and sinus facial. I definitely need to look into that because I'm a chronic sufferer with sinuses. It's just a thing that, yeah.
Like, oh my God, I don't know. It's just crazy.
Well,
and I've tried all the medication, the nasal sprays, you name it, saline solution.
Yes, yeah. The neti pot, yeah, I use the neti pot to wash up my sinuses. Yeah, try to keep them clean.
Face steamer thing, I mean, they help, temporarily.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
and that's what they're for. Yeah.
Good information, particularly about that salt.
Okay.
It was saying from the various, depending on what body of water. It depends on, I guess.
Depends on the minerals. Yeah, depending on which body of water it came from. So that was very interesting. Yep.
Yeah, it's good. That's good. But thank you so much for having this. But
all right.
I don't want to hog with all the questions. But
hey, what I just like I told you in the email, send as many questions as you want. So I'm going to send you guys.
I got some, but I said after I submitted, I think 2 or 3. I said I better wait because I'm around here trying to hold the hot seat.
Well, come on with them. Send the rest of y'all questions in. I'm gonna send this video out tomorrow.
If you don't have the answer, you do some research.
Hey, it's a learning curve for me. It's learning for me also. Nobody knows everything. And so I definitely welcome the opportunity to learn something that I've never might have heard about but really didn't know about. And I am one of those people where I love to read, I love to research, so I am definitely good with that. But send in y'all questions, ladies. I'll send this video to you tomorrow. I'll send the protein scale, and if you can think of anything else. So we have however many more Thursdays we have. I think we have 2 or 3 more Thursdays left in this month. We're going to be right back here next Thursday at 7 o'clock with more questions to answer. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, ladies, and y'all have a good evening. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.